So over the last few weeks, I really had a lot of people showing interest in crypto and asking me a bunch of questions, what I should get into, what am I invested in, all these other things. And honestly, crypto in itself has been a crazy ass journey for me and anyone else who got in even last cycle. People have made a lot of mistakes in crypto, me included. And the way I actually got started in crypto was actually not even through purchasing. I was selling graphics cards at the time. If you're familiar with during COVID, there was a graphics card shortage, and there was a real problem getting them. And so I was actually one of the people you would call a scalper, but I was actually only making like $100 per graphics card, where like a lot of the other people they would like double their money, whatever. Long story short, one guy, Dave, said he wanted to buy one of my graphics cards and told me he was mining Ethereum. And at the time, I was like already kind of interested in doing something like that, but really wasn't sure how it worked. Long story short, he convinced me to actually keep my graphics cards and any of the other ones that I was able to get, um, and start mining Ethereum. And what I would do is I used what's called NiceHash. It's a program that you can use to mine with any type of equipment that you have, like a CPU, graphics card, or ASIC, which is algorithmic specific circuit hardware that you use specifically for a specific type of cryptocurrency to mine, like Bitcoin right now, which is the most efficient way to mine it, even though it's extremely hard. So that actually brings me to my actual point of this video, um, is to get into what I'm doing now, since I've had some previous experience in the previous bull market, what mistakes I've made, what you can do to not make the same mistakes that I made, even though you'll probably do it because I'm still making mistakes now. So we're always learning. No one can predict the way this market's actually going to go. We have an idea because history generally repeats itself, and we have tools to show that. So now I'm going to try to show you some of that stuff here today, and other things like what I'm interested in, why I purchase the things I purchase. So yeah, let's move on with my first thing I wanted to tell you about, which is Bitcoin and the control over the whole market. So like the way Bitcoin works, right, and it goes through a 4-year cycle, right, and mid-cycle it goes through a halving at the end of the fourth year. Um, and what happens during that cycle is that the people who mine Bitcoin lose half. I'm sorry, they don't lose half. They are rewarded half the amount of Bitcoin that they would normally be rewarded for doing the same amount of work. It's essentially like you going to work every day and making $100 a day, and then the next day you show up, you're getting paid $50 a day. Everything still costs the same, but you get paid half as much. So what happens then is you have a scarcity issue with Bitcoin because half as much is now being mined as there was the previous 2 years. And what happens then is the same way supply and demand works with everything else, the price of Bitcoin spikes up. So let's get into um, why Bitcoin is going crazy right now. Because statistically and historically, right now is when we would actually be experiencing somewhat of a dip or be ready to experience a dip because the halving is approaching. Usually people want to offload their Bitcoin now that the price has spiked, right? And then what you do is you recoup at the bottom, or what they consider the bottom, as close as they can after the halving, when that parabolic spike happens. So that's supposed to happen in April sometime. So we have like a month, about maybe a month and a half about before the halving happens. But I think part of the reason that it is not happening is because of the ETFs that have been approved. So now, like people in Wall Street, before they were not allowed to purchase Bitcoin, or any type of cryptocurrencies, and now they can. So what I'm going to do is just show you a chart of previous bull markets and where we're at right now and what people are estimating, and I'll give you my thoughts on essentially where I believe we may be headed and what I agree with, what I disagree with. Again, I'm not a professional. This is just my thoughts, and none of this is actually financial advice either. So I'm just going to show you what I've done, where I'm at, and all that along the way. So we're going to go ahead and show you the chart now. So this pops up here, and I can show you now where the previous bull markets have gone, and what we're looking at here. So and you can really see, for all the people who ever doubted Bitcoin and how dangerous it can be to invest in it, this chart literally shows you, had you invested at any point in the previous bull markets, you'd still be up today. Like, doesn't matter at this point, theoretically, if you bought at the top of the last bull market, we are literally stroking the top of the Bitcoin all-time high for the last 2 days. So anyway, if you look, we have 2013, the spike here. This is the pre-bull run having here, and then post-bull run, look, 715%. Then we have our bear market, and then the year prior to the halving, we have our increase of 110% from the bottom. And then after the halving, see right before the halving also, just as a note, look, dip and then the spike, right? We have not had a dip. We have not had a massive dip like this. We are usually expecting like a 20 to 30% dip. We have not experienced that. And again, I think we may not experience that due to ETF approval and how much money is literally pouring into Bitcoin every day. And I'll get into that in a couple minutes as well. So if you look, having two, peak 18,000. Look at that. What a joke, right? You think about $18,000 as a high of a bull market, when the last bull market we hit $69,000, right? $69,000 Bitcoin at the last bull market having peak. And now we start in, and this is where I really started telling people. My buddy Mike and I were at a football game for my son's friend and his buddy's son. And these are things that I should have known better. And he's really into crypto. Like, I'd say, and we're about equal now, but man, that guy has just been more focused, I would say, for a way longer period of time than I have been. He was focused throughout the whole bear market when everything was dirt cheap, when we should have been buying, which I'll touch on with pricing and why. That's so important. But he asked me, it's like, right here, let's see, August, around that point. He's like, are you in any Bitcoin right now? Or are you buying any cryptocurrencies? And I'm like, I'm like, it's kind of not really doing anything. And he just looks at me, he's like, it's kind of the point. It's coming up slowly, but it's at the bottom, right? So at that point, I'm like, you're right. And at that point, I started restructuring my portfolio, knowing that, we're a year out from, or a little bit less than a year out from the halving. So I started restructuring my portfolio and all that. And I started telling all my friends around me, oh, please, it sounds like BS or whatever, but please buy Bitcoin or, some of these altcoins, which I'll get into, just to get yourself a foot in at the bottom. We're at the bottom of the bull market. It hasn't started yet, blah, blah, blah. No one wanted to listen to me. Only a couple, I can't say no one, a couple of my friends listened to me. So that brings me to this, look, right? We're at now $69,000 Bitcoin. And I started telling all my friends back in like October, September, all of that back then, start buying Bitcoin. Even over the summer, I told my friend Charlie, he got in at $18,000 Bitcoin, and he got so I guess it was a year ago I told him about it. Look at that, about a year ago I told him, and that boy bought it. He didn't buy a whole Bitcoin, but he bought some. And again, he's the reason I even make this video today, because ran into him at the gym. He's like, man, you should have been educating people on this, whatever. And now here I am. So anyway, long story short, it's not gonna be a short story. I keep saying that, but this is gonna probably be like a 40-minute video of me explaining this stuff because it's not easy, especially for people who don't understand how this stuff works and what to look for. And that's what this is really for. This is going to be one of the few videos that I make. I'm going to try to be consistent about this every couple of days. It's really actually a pain in the ass to do this stuff. Found that out the hard way when I started setting the stream up myself today. So, but anyway, let's get into the ETFs and how they affected the market. I mean, look at this, $69,000 Bitcoin. We broke the all-time high prior to the halving, which never happens. That usually happens directly after the halving, and then we hit parabolic all-time highs after the fact. So now if we take a look, let's see, I'm going to come back here and put this back up. All right, guys. So we're going to take a look at this over here. So we can do it together. Try to get an explanation here for you. So we're going to start with Fidelity, only because I actually, personally, just so you know, a lot of these things I am personally invested in because I've seen the way for the last 3 or 4 years, from when I started investing to where I am now, I would consider myself half seasoned, not quite like Spanish seasoned, but like halfway there, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, look at this. Every day, Fidelity Bitcoin hits, a new record. And today, Fidelity Bitcoin hits a record $473 million in one day. $473 million in one day. You think regular people like me and you were doing that? No, that's not happening. So, if you look at previous bull markets, this was not happening. This type of money every day, not happening, right? So if we go here, where did I go with this? Spot Bitcoin ETF, here we go. Spot Bitcoin ETF passing 100 billion mark comes after Monday's exceptional results when products daily trading volume nearly hit $10 billion. Last week it was recorded record-setting as a cumulative trading volume for the spot Bitcoin ETF. ETFs trading total $22.3 billion in a week. Are you kidding me? 1 week, $22.3 billion into Bitcoin alone. Now, this leads me to other things. So Bitcoin is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, just so you know, everything follows Bitcoin. When Bitcoin crashes 20%, all these other cryptocurrencies, they crash 50, 30, 40%. They don't just stay right where, where Bitcoin's crashing at 20%, you usually see a massive dip in other cryptocurrencies. So because everything generally follows market cap values, and when you're losing gigantic amounts of money in a smaller market cap cryptocurrency, what happens is the value drops out a lot faster than if, you got look at this, $1.3 trillion just in Bitcoin. So, you don't see that. Look at the drop off right there. That's 471 billion versus 1.3 trillion dollars in just Bitcoin alone. So most of the market cap of crypto alone is through Bitcoin. So that is why it's so important to understand when you're trading, you follow Bitcoin over everything. Because when you start seeing massive dips or insecurity in the price of Bitcoin, you're going to see even more insecurity in the price of other coins because the values are going to dip out on them because people get what's called fearful or scared in the market and they start getting shaken out, which you should never do, especially when you know where we're headed in the market or where we should be headed in the market. I do watch a few guys online like Alex Becker, and he says, man, we could be putting our dick in a pencil sharpener and the government could crash the stock market because we're in such high debt, printing money, all that shit all the time. We could end up taking a huge shit. So, there's always that too. But providing we keep headed towards the north with our economy the way it's been running. We're at all-time highs essentially throughout the S&P, Nasdaq. All the higher end stocks are really booming. Tech stocks are booming. Medical stocks are booming. So we're not doing too bad, even just in the general stock market. I mean, you can't really complain about gains there. Generally, you're looking at like 10% a year there. But that is why I'm in crypto and stocks. Stocks are my safe haven, and this is my make my money now because this isn't going to last forever. This is, I think we have like a little over a year left in this bull market, the way it's going right now. I think it may move a little faster than the previous ones because it started sooner. But I do think the overall price of Bitcoin is going to stabilize at a higher amount. I don't think we'll ever see an $18,000 Bitcoin again unless we have a major recession. And even then, if I go back to the article that I actually just showed you, it's saying Bitcoin is worth more than gold, better than gold. So, if you want to go back and read any of these articles, I can include links for them and show me sources. And I do recommend that everything that I tell you, you do your own research on just to go ahead and prove it correct or incorrect because, again, I'm not a professional. I can only go off of what I've learned so far in this market. So back in October, my portfolio was literally in the dump, $400 down. That's all I had left from about like $2,700 that I invested total between mining Ethereum and being paid out in Bitcoin, and I was changing that to other cryptocurrencies, trying to maximize my value because the lower cap cryptocurrencies move way faster and more parabolic, and you get more gains. So that's what I want to get into now. Again, I want you to do your own research and don't FOMO in. Like if you see something spiking, that's not the time when you want to buy it. You want to be buying things when they're not going parabolic. Like right now, I wouldn't even suggest. Even though we think Bitcoin may hit $150,000 to $250,000 this year, I don't recommend jumping in right at the moment. But I am not a financial advisor. I do suggest, getting a foot in the door at some point. You can see, look, we keep heading down. We are bouncing off all-time high, but we are consolidating off of all-time high. We are not taking a dip. I mean, if you look, we have not had a dip at all. This is as close to a dip as we got, 60,000. And if you want to consider that a dip, we are going to have a great year with cryptocurrency because if we're talking 10, 15% dips over 60%, 40, 50% dips, it sucks our sales are gone, but what doesn't suck is every time you dollar cost average into a purchase, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to make some money off of it. So let's move on to things that I recommend you do. So what you want to do is you want to get in early on projects, and certain projects run better than others. I tend to hold more gaming, AI, and things like that. I do have a mixed bag, but generally speaking, since I've started reinvesting, I have invested mostly into my gaming tokens, AI tokens, and DePIN, which is a form of decentralized infrastructure. So it's like providing real world asset to the public. The same way, like I'm involved in a couple. So I can give you an example. One is called Hive Mapper. So generally, what I do is I go around with this dash cam and I record the road just like you would with a camera with Google Maps. Instead of having your whole car covered, you have one. and they pay you in their Honey token, which let's go ahead and look at that real quick. So if we go to Honey, it's HiveMapper, here we go. It's at 19 cents, right? So when I bought my HiveMapper, I got a discount from a crypto YouTuber called Fire Hustle, and I got it for $285 shipped. I ordered in December, on December 7th, and I just got it a week and a half ago. They had a $2,500, or sorry, 2,500 um, Honey token bonus if you purchased in the month of December. So I purchased in December, and you have to drive 250 kilometers, which I just did this week. So I should be getting my bonus and my payout this week. So the way it works is it goes from Sunday to Saturday, and then you get paid out on Thursday evening. So this week I will probably get around $130 in HiveMapper token and Honey tokens on top of my 2,500 tokens. So if we go by right now what the price is, so it's 2,500 times 19 cents is $475 that they're giving me for a camera. I paid $285 for, so I'm already up on that purchase. So 475 minus 285. I'm still up $190. Plus, I made $100 last week mapping, so plus 100. And then, like I said, I'll probably be between 100 and 130 this week. So plus, let's go 120 to make it safe. $410 in 2 weeks for a device that I paid $285 for. I've already made my money back on that. So that's just one way that you can make money passively, if you want to call it that. I mean, you technically have to drive, but you're driving anyway. So you can make more money by going and hitting back roads and doing stuff like that. And then let me just show you HiveMapper Explorer. Boom. Open this up here. I'm on a VPN right now, so it's running a little slow. But we can just show you my region and what I've done. Kingston, New York. Boom. There we go. I'm not actually in Kingston. I live close to it, but let's see. If we go to, you can see the regions, progress, and contributors. It shows everything here. So if I go, let's see. My mouse is not being very friendly. So I did this all last week, right? All these streets, all of this, I did all that. Boom. And this is what I got paid. Well, this is this week actually. I did some of it, but I did all of that. A lot of this. So when it's dark purple, that means it's mapped now. And essentially, the way it works is the more you map these gray streets that have never been mapped before, the more money you make. It's 1 honey token per kilometer that you map. Okay. So I'll make another video about this another time, but I don't want to get into too much detail about this. This is actually not why I made the video. It's just showing you one way that you can make money in the cryptocurrency market without having to actually invest money directly to the cryptocurrency. You can just earn it while technically working, right? So they're paying you for your time, and you're making money doing those tedious tasks for them. But you enjoy driving, it's not so bad. I actually don't mind it at all. Okay, as I was getting my hat back on, got a little chilly in here. Started looking over my list of things to go over with you guys and realize how long it's going to be. So I'm going to break this up into a couple videos. I'm going to keep this one going where I was going. I'm going to jump over to gaming now, and then we'll go to DePIN another day because there's a lot of gaming tokens, and I feel like there's the best value in those right now. And you can really just see it by looking at the charts that I'm about to show you. Some of these I hold, some of these I don't, some of these I have held, some of these I have not held. Regardless, some of them are very good. They're all really good, but some of them are better than others. Some have higher growth potential than others. Again, do your own research. You decide which ones you think are going to fit your portfolio the best based on what you see, not what I tell you. I mean, obviously, you're going to listen to me somewhat, but just, you know, everything take with a grain of salt from everyone. Just because I did well with it now doesn't mean you're going to do well with it later. That's the name of the game of this whole market, is to try to do as best we can. But without further ado, let's head over to the gaming tokens. So first one, my trusty Mutable X. This is one of the better tokens you can get into. And just so you know, a lot of what I do, as far as the research goes, this is an older token from the previous bull market that did very well. This is why I'm so interested in this one, because it's still building. They've had a lot of partnerships with a lot of different companies. And I'll do some deep dive videos into each one of these projects and why they're so good. But I'm just going to do a rundown on each one of these, and you can, like I said, decide which ones you want to get into if you want to get into them, not financial advice. All right, so we're going to go back to Max. And if we go back to the peak of the last bull market in 2021. We see that this had a $9.31 price tag at one point, and let's see. Okay, it usually shows the mag at $9.52 all-time high. So, you know, if we return anywhere near that, I paid around 80 cents average for this token. You know, if I'm being transparent. So, it's still not a bad time to get in based on where the previous bull market went with this token and with where we're headed based on development in the company. This is one of the companies that did not just sit back in the bear market and let their company shrivel up and die. They actually worked on it. As you can see, their market cap number 29, which is no chump. There's thousands of tokens. So another one that's really good. It's Nakamoto Games. I've had this one since the previous bull market. I held this one from the bottom, all the way from the bottom, all the way to the top. I could have made, a decent amount of money. I mean, it's nowhere near where I could have bought it here. I wish I had bought more in the bear market, and I didn't, because, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm an idiot. I waited until October, or not October, but midsummer, end of summer, to really start looking into crypto again, when we all should have been in the bear market here. Look at these prices. November, October 2022, we're at 7 cents, and now we're $2.98 now, and we're nowhere near the max. Look at our previous all-time highs again. $5.95 here. We got $5.14. What do we have over the max? $6.71. During the peak of the bull market again, 2021. So this is another company that has developed throughout the bear market. Again, this is not a chunk token, one of those that are, going to be something you have to worry about if you invest in it. Again, am I saying invest now? No, but can you? Yes, because based on previous all-time highs, we are still in the middle of something that could be, it could beat a previous all-time high. Gaming is going to be so much bigger in this bull market than it was in the previous one, based on exposure to people being in it. And this is one of those tangible things you can actually have in crypto, where people question its legitimacy based on the fact that you can't see or touch it, whatever. Well, this you actually can. You can play these games and you can earn these tokens. People do this stuff with CS:GO now, where they sell their add-on features in the game. So this is not like an unheard of concept, and it's just funny how people think it's some crazy Ponzi scheme when these companies have billions or trillions or hundreds of thousands of dollars based on their market cap, and they don't give them a chance. And that's just where the world is headed. Everything's on a virtual display now. People are walking around with Apple headsets on. So anyway, Next one for me is AVAX. This is another one that's growing like crazy. This one went crazy in the last bull market. And I think this will be another good one. This one has a lot of games built on it. And it is very successful. Another one that kept building in the bear market. Look, if you look, it's previous all-time highs, an absurd $144.96. So, it's another $100 up from where it is now if it returns to all-time highs. And even if it doesn't get to all-time high, but if it got to $100, right? Say this got to $100 and you bought now, you're still more than doubling your return. Um, so, I mean, again, not financial advice, but I mean, if you just look at previous history, again, this is another company that has exponentially grown and didn't, spare money to do that. They have games under them now that people are going to be playing. Yeah, so again, this is another one you want to look into. I'll do a deep dive on them. Gala Games is another one. This one I did hold actually back when it was about a penny, and I got impatient and I sold it. But I mean, as you can see now, it is doing well, has been doing well, especially in the last month. Almost a 200% gain in the last 30 days and 47% in the last 24 hours. So, Gala Games is definitely a solid pick. Disclaimer: they did have some kind of lawsuit going on. I have not done any research on what's happened with that, but something to keep in mind that if they do end up having something happen where they lose a lawsuit, this could just go to zero. I mean, so that's always something to keep in mind. But again, if we look at previous all-time highs of 82 cents, almost 83 cents, and we're at 6 now. Plus, they have also built during the bear market, even though they've been in a lawsuit. So they obviously still believe in their vision and what they want to do. So, and they do have nodes that they sell, and I think they're like $200,000 if you wanted to do something like that. But that's more outside of my risk factor, and I don't have that kind of money anyway. So, all right, and we'll move on now. We got Myria. This is a newer project that I'm not 100% familiar with, but this has been being talked about for a few months by a couple of crypto YouTubers that I've watched over the last couple of years and in the last bull market as well, that are well trusted. Hustle, he is the man. If anybody, he's on Crypto Banter. I'm not 100% a fan of everyone on that show. I'm not going to say names because, they're all smart, but I can't tell if most of these people are just shilling bags or whatever. I'm being very transparent about what I'm doing. I could show you if you want what I have in my bags. I would never be like, oh yeah, buy this, but not show you what I already had prior to purchasing. So, because I feel like a lot of what people do online is they'll tell you, oh, yeah, I think this is a really good token to buy, but they already bought $10,000 worth and they push their whole crowd to buy, while they've already bought it, and then they do like this $1,000 trade right in front of you, make it look like they just bought some, but they actually had already bought like 10, 15, $30,000 the day before just to get you to buy some more. So anyway, this is definitely a good project though. They're expanding as well. They also have nodes that you can put online. I'm not familiar with the price. But that is another thing that I'm going to speak about passive income for node mining and things like that. Another good one, Lagme Games. I mean, look at this thing over the last year, 559%. This one has not seen, from what I remember, this has not seen a previous bull run, and it did not look at this. It became a thing in 2022. So the bull run ended end of 2021. So if you think about that, this has not seen the bull run, and it did really well the whole time. It's been, an active project. So It's doing pretty well right now, and I would not hesitate to invest in a company like this if you do see a good opportunity. As you look at the chart, there are many, many dips where you could pick up here and take your take your parabolic ride up to the top, dump off, and then repeat. It's like washing your clothes. Look at this. So you just you know be careful with this one, but I'm more of a long-term trader. Not to say that I haven't done my fair share of short trading in the last few months, so um, I can't say I have or I haven't. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Anyway, so we're gonna move back on. So Wagmi Games again. This is a very good project. I think anybody who's new to crypto and you see things like this is not abnormal. These types of things, especially with a new project, and with this being right before Bitcoin really started spiking. I mean, look, we got uh, let's see, if we go here, I mean, look, Bitcoin was pretty much popping off here too in February. It was kind of dipping a little bit, but once it took back off, it went right with it, and then it hasn't really stopped since. Right? But it did have its little run before most other projects in its time period for gaming. I mean, look at that spike right here. This is again this spike December, mid-December. And gaming did have a run back in December as well. I mean, I can show you any one of these charts. But anyway, next one for me. This is a new project, and I think this might be like an ace in the hole type deal, man. Because I actually just looked at the website, and I'm going to pull it up here for you in a second because it's like a gambling, gaming, casino type website with poker, but you can vote for crypto. And I might actually sign up to do this. I mean, it's a cool looking little website, and I've never played on any crypto gaming websites or anything like that, so I'm definitely down to try this and see how it works out because I love poker, and if I could win some decentral games tokens, uh, and hold them, because that's the name of the game, guys. If you can get these things cheap or free, you go and win like 10,000 of these tokens from going and playing poker, and you get them for whatever you paid to get into the game. So you take your money back plus what everybody else put in. You win a tournament or something. You could get a lot of money coming into this upcoming round, especially with something like this. I mean, this is a new project itself. Again, something else that really just came out right at the end of the bull run last time. This didn't have time to grow through the first set of the bear market like the rest of the other cryptocurrencies, gaming. Actually, there's a couple on here that I can pull up too that I should probably go over. That I keep thinking of. There's so many games and gaming platforms and things like that you can invest in. Man, it's kind of ridiculous, but it's really, like I said, it's all up to you and what you decide is deemed worthy of putting in your portfolio. Do your own research. But this one again, like I said, ace in the hole for me. Because we hit all-time highs again, even though it didn't have its chance to run. It started around $1.63. You can't really take that as a actual all-time high because it didn't have its chance in the bull run. This is like when a company releases something, they always come out at whatever price they want to release their native token at, unless they've already had like a pre-sale where they had an idea what it was worth. But in this case, it looks like they started it out $1.63, and then it fell sharply after that because we were in a really long bear market, one of the longest ones ever. So excuse me. So yeah, Decentral Games. I would be all about buying this still, even though we've had nice little runs in the last month here. It's not really like all the other ones where I showed you, you know. But yeah, so this one, Alluvium, this is a really good project, and the all-time high on this one is completely absurd. I sold my shares of this. I got in at $50. Um, back, I think it was back in like October or something like that. I'd have to check my sheet, but you know, I made the the paper hand decision to sell and put it into to other projects. You always have that seller's regret because when you see where this project went last time, and we've still been building. The game is actually available right now. It's on I think it's Steam. Um, I'd have to take a look. I forget, man. I actually downloaded it and played it too. But anyway, long story short, well, actually, let's just take a look at the website. We're here now, so let's see. Here, alluvium.io. There we go. Play now. I think it's on Steam. So play now. Epic. I'm sorry, it's on Epic Games. There you go, not Steam. So you can go play that and go ahead and check that out. But yeah, it's a really cool game. It's kind of like and it's not really my style, but graphically it looks really. The game you could tell has a lot of time and effort put into it. It's high detail. Um, you know, they've been working on it a long time. It's kind of got like a Pokemon type vibe to it, and it's got a bunch of different game modes. Just check it out. I mean, it's got in-game currency that you can find, and it goes on the same thing like CS:GO. Like I said, you can buy in-game stuff, and it's all worth currency and all that stuff. But back to the pricing of this thing. I mean, let's go back to the max. Absurd. I'm telling you, you guys are gonna jaw drop on this one. This is insane. I'm on a VPN, so this is sometimes extremely slow. Generally, my VPN is quick, but this is kind of ridiculous, especially at this hour. Um, there we go. Here we go. Absurd. Look at this. Peak of the bull market. November 2021. She jumped up pretty good. $1,911. So realistically, I probably should not have sold this. I had two shares of this. I bought one at 50 and one at like 70 something dollars. Um, so yeah, I really fumbled the bag on that one. As I say, you know, this is not really one of the shares that I should have sold. And if I was anyone looking to get into crypto gaming for a purchase, even at this price, man, it's still a really good buy. I mean, if you look, the performance of this is amazing. It's been really good. I mean, I can't say anything more about this token. If you guys want to do more research on this one, I highly suggest you look into it. It's a very good token to hold throughout the bull run, especially if you see a dip like this, you buy that up. I'm telling you right now. This right here, this right here is where I should have bought some right at the end of February when everything was not doing so hot. You know, like I said, February wasn't such a good month for crypto, but historically that's how it is anyway. But anyway, check that out, and you know, you get this nasty dip and then the parabolic jump. So anyway, next one we got is Seedify Launchpad. This is a really amazing project. Would not. I mean, like I keep saying the same thing about all of them. If I'm talking about them, it's for a reason. There's a lot of failure projects out there. Um, this is not one of them. This is one of the projects that you can bet your bottom dollar you're gonna get a return on. Again, not financial advice. You know, just take a look at the charts here. And again, this is another one that is what we like to call legacy coin. This is from previous bull run. It did have its run, and looks like, $16.79 was the all-time high for this. I'm not sure why this is not showing that, but yeah, this is another good one. And at $4.30, I would wait for a dip on this one. Even still, I don't know if this is really a good buy. I could pull up some TradingView charts and chart some stuff up on some of these someday. I just don't. Not that I don't have the time. I really don't. Either way, I'm making it now. But this is again my first video. I haven't really taken the time and thought all this out. This is kind of like spur of the moment, first video, So another good game that has just is supposed to have had a demo in December. I did not follow up on that, and actually, there's one thing I do want to talk about: is security of your wallet. So when you take a token off of an exchange and put it on your Ledger wallet or whatever hardware wallet you own, or if you make a MetaMask wallet or Coinbase wallet or any one of those external wallets where you have a seed phrase, and you don't save the seed phrase, and or you lose your passcode to your ledger. This is a warning. If you lose your passcode for your ledger, you have to reset your device. You still lose your crypto. Just a heads up on that. And the second warning was about the Coinbase wallet and any other wallet that has a seed phrase. You lose that, same thing follows. You lose your crypto. I had a whole bunch of shrapnel, and I bought it way in the beginning when it was dirt cheap in here. And I'm sorry, not there, in here in the beginning when I said when it was dirt cheap. And yeah, I don't have the seed phrase anymore. It is lost. And this is probably worth a lot of money now. I remember when it ran up to this, I was really happy. And I think it was up to like $375 worth or whatever. And I barely had any invested in at this point. So, something to just keep in mind, to always write that stuff down. I have everything written down somewhere now and made sure everything is secure. The biggest thing, the mistake I made was my phone SIM card had been saying it wasn't inserted, so I went and got a new phone. All I did was actually make sure that the apps were transferred over, not making sure that they were actually logged in with my seed phrase and all that stuff. And I deleted the other phone's information, and that's why that seed phrase is gone. I had all the other ones for the most part, though. Like I said, I lost my Ledger, which had some XLM on there, and I had 200 Polkadot. Yeah, so I just lost like $2,000 right there. It's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, like I said before, I've made mistakes. We all make mistakes, and you have to be smarter about these things, especially when you have amazing gains that you held from the last bull market for dirt cheap prices. My last and final game that I'm going to go over right now is Beam, and this is the best one in my portfolio right now, and I think it's actually peaking all-time high again. Yeah, 18 hours ago. It's pretty close right now, hitting all-time high. I invested like total of $170 of money into this project, and I invested super early, man. And I think at this price, it's got to be worth. I don't even know how much, man. I'm gonna go check in a little while. It's worth a lot, though, for me. Not for like rich people a lot, but like just the gain itself is a lot. I do have it kind of tracked on my CoinGecko. I could pull that up for you right now if you guys want to see what I kind of got going on. It's not 100% accurate, and I don't want to flex or anything, but it's obviously a little more than this. But I'm just going to scroll down and balance. So just looking at Beam. Yeah. Let's see. Look at that Dino. Dino's killing it tonight, boy. Beam, here we go. It's saying I'm up $436.86. Excuse me. So, it's probably worth, like 600 and something dollars. I mean, let's see right there, 266% on the base transaction. Like I said, I'm probably missing some transactions. You have to manually put these in here. And if you guys start a portfolio or want to watch list or anything like that, I'd highly suggest you use CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap or something like that, because then you can track your portfolio on there, so you don't have to keep going between, if you have multiple exchanges or anything like that, or if you have it in a hardware wallet, you can track it that way. So, but yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, you see some of the stuff that I listed that I did name in, in this video, but yeah, we'll go over some other stuff, in the next couple days here. Let me see if I can think of anything else as far as like gaming tokens, man. We can just go, we could take a walk on the wild side here. Categories, let's see what we got. Let's go. There we go, gaming. Boom. See, look, I mean, you see the stars next to the ones that I've either owned or liked or have. And they're all doing pretty good. I mean, they're up there. Number one, Immutable X, buddy. That is it. Immutable X is. This is going to probably be one of the best tokens performing in the market this year. I think, in my opinion, I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. This one, Beam, this will be the best performing token for me, because of when I got in. Everything about this whole thing is about getting in early or in a heavy dip or something like that, man. I mean, you got to stay ahead of the curve in order to get ahead of the market in this game, and that's where a lot of people talk a lot of shit about you and tell you that, oh, it's stupid, you don't know what you're doing, whatever. Well, my portfolio went from $400 to 5K in like the matter of a few months, so you know you can say whatever you want. I'm doing pretty good right now all by myself with, just being it. I got some friends that I talk to about this stuff, but, for the most part, I did this all by myself, man. Lots of research, listening to people, and then taking my own thoughts and knowledge on what I've figured out through all these people. And, I can't necessarily, I did it by myself, but my choices were all made of all of them. And I made good ones. I made a lot of bad ones to make these good ones. So it's not all good, If I show you some of my losses from my last run, you'd be like, holy shit, I'm surprised you stayed in this. I know a lot of people, like my brother, he had a lot of money in Bitcoin and he took a loss. If he'd have waited, he'd be up by like $30,000 right now, but he was impatient. So he lost on that, unfortunately. Anyway, we got, I missed one. I missed one right here. Invoke and Forged. This right here. Excuse me. Vulcan Forged is a very good token. I'm surprised I actually forgot this. I actually owned this and got rid of it like a dumbass. And you can see in the last year it's up 240%, and it's 80% away from its all-time high at almost $50. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up for this one. And if I were you guys, I would take a look at least getting into a couple of these. Again, not financial advice, but it is advice. You can take it how you want at that point. I'm not trying to be liable for your success or non-success, but I would love to see everybody around me making some money, um, and just get in at the right time. Don't go, don't go FOMOing in and making mistakes like a lot of other people do. I did that. I did it a bunch of times. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'd see a coin spiking up, a meme coin, and just be like, "Oh my God, I have to have this coin. I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna miss it." Yeah, don't do that. It's not worth it. I promise you. So I'm gonna wrap it up now. I'll make another video in a couple days, probably tomorrow since it's a weekend. I have a little bit of time. Have a good night. It's 3:20 a.m. here, so I've been kind of grinding out on this all night. Just so you know, so I did put some work in on this. I started this at like 7 o'clock. It's been like almost a full work day of me making this video for you guys and coming up with coins to track and getting the software all right, you know, so I could get you at least a decent quality stream. So I hope you enjoy it. I know it's probably going to be about an hour long once I'm done editing the video. So yeah, have a good night, guys.